Hey y'all, I'm Mike, the RV inspector and technician,
And I'm Elizabeth. I run our business.
and welcome to the Cozy Camper Podcast. Oh, hello, Elizabeth.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. It has been like 4 podcasts since we were together.
It has been a while. I was starting to feel replaced.
Well, you know, as much as I love the tank cleaning man, there's no replacing you, honey.
I mean, I could talk about poop tanks.
I bet you
I
could.
have taken that on.
You just had a conversation with somebody about poop tanks.
I did. But I mean, I've taken it on here. That's become kind of my job. Just informally, I've just started taking ownership of our gray and black tanks. And
I am thrilled that you have taken that task from me.
very satisfying.
Yeah, I love that I don't have that
I
task
have like a
anymore.
pride in like keeping the tanks clean. And after listening to the episode with,
Tommy.
Tommy, I feel very knowledgeable. Knowledge is power.
He was he was so chill. Like he told the story, but like, oh yeah, I blew up the black tank and it blew up in my face, and it was all right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I would die.
I would die.
actively die if that happened. And he's just like, yeah.
So it was this is related, but I was talking to Kat Beckman. She and her husband are inspectors in the Dallas area, and she said she was doing an inspection just like 2 days ago, and one of the dealer technicians was like, "Oh, let me go fill up the water tank for you," and plugged the hose into the black tank flush, and so she didn't know, and so
Stop it.
yeah, so she went to go open the
Oh God.
she's gonna be mad I used her name, but she went to go open the toilet and she just flushed it just like to test the toilet, and it like blew up like
Oh my God.
a mine in
Nope.
her face.
Nope. I would be done. That would be it.
Now
Curtain closed.
Thankfully, it was a brand new RV.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
I don't see a way of recovering from that if it's even been used once.
I, am a man of peace, but I feel like I would have, no pun intended, blown a gasket.
Yeah.
And just, yeah,
There's no coming back from that.
right.
Oh, hate that. But that's why we don't do poop tanks.
We
We do our own, but that's
she
it.
wasn't either because she
Right.
was just doing an inspection. She's a victim.
Right. No, for sure. No, I just mean like we don't do tech stuff on the poop tanks
tried.
because it's not for us.
We tried, and that was not for me.
Right.
I didn't like it.
We just don't touch other people's
That's why
poop tanks.
we have a great relationship with Tommy from the Tank Rangers, and our neighbors in Illinois are from Clean Tank.
Yeah, they're great.
We are happy to refer you to one of them.
Yes, it's just not for us.
But that's not for us. What is for us is we are starting another business. We're not
Yes.
giving up Cozy Camper, but we are building something that's in addition to
A branch, if you
a
will.
branch. And I kind of wanted to talk about the genesis of where it came from, and then we'll sort of reveal what was going on. If you've been paying very close attention, you might have seen already some of our business. But let's start at the beginning. So way back when we first started RV inspections, there was an RV locator. You'd go to the locator, you'd find a list of RV inspectors and technicians near you. A company came and bought that service and is now, they're changing the way things operate. And I didn't realize how many inspectors were completely reliant on the locator for their source of business. And we took a deep dive, and we were like, well, only like 20% of our leads came from a locator. We think come from a locator. The rest come from just Google and social media and all these other places. But clearly that was not the like talking to the other inspectors.
Right.
Like a lot of them, that was not their
The case.
experience.
Right.
And so there was that, and then we, in parallel, were hearing about kind of inspectors that were frustrated because they were actually getting leads, but they didn't know what to do with them. And so we took a step back and we started to talk to some of our partners in the industry, and we were like, all right, well, we get tons of leads from all kinds of places, and we've studied sales, and we've made a better inspection product than, selfishly, I'll say, like, we have a better inspection product than most of our peers. And my modesty won't let me say we're the best. So what we have decided to do is open a training program specifically for RV inspectors to build their business. And we call it Next Generation Advanced RV Training. You pick the name. And the intent is that we want to make RV inspectors better.
Yes.
So we're not like, this is not a replacement to the additional training. This is something that you go to NRVIA, you do your training there, you get certified, and then you come to us, and we teach you the business side of things. And something that we didn't think about at first was we're developing a field training program.
Mm-hmm.
So after you're done, you get to go out and do field training. And so the idea, they'll come to us, we'll train them, and then they'll go out into the world, and they'll be better inspectors and better business owners for it. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of excitement for it. Like a lot of the inspectors are
Because there's a need. There's not a lot, if any, out there
right.
that is going to help make these inspectors more well-rounded.
Right. And there's,
because that's what it's about.
And what I don't want is, and we talked about this, so like we're getting ready to leave. We're going to go to Illinois, which we're doing 21 inspections a month in Central Texas right now, which if you're not in the industry, that's a lot of inspections for an inspector. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's working 4 or 5 days a week on average. And I guess that would be 5 days on average.
Right.
One week last month we had 6 inspections,
right.
which is brutal. But
you're welcome.
Thank you for that, Terry. You're so good at sales, and I want to talk about that. But we want very few other inspectors have that, and we want to give it to them. So we were going through that, and so we were talking about. I'll kind of start on my side, but it was like, well, hey, you have to do some like basic marketing
Mm-hmm.
for businesses to be successful. That's what I was going to say. Is the only comparable products that are out there. I have ADHD, if you didn't know. Is the only comparable products that are out there are people who sell endorsements, and so we talked about that because we're going to leave, and we were like, well, maybe we could leave somebody here and they could cut us in. And I was like, well, they're not really Cozy Camper, they're not doing
right.
what we do, and I wouldn't feel right just say like, oh, hey, Joe is here, he's doing inspections in my stead, and I'm going to take 10%. And I also don't want somebody to be reliant on me. Like, because what if we go out of business? Like, what if we get sued, or we crash the car, or we decide we don't want to be inspectors anymore? So I was like, I don't want to do that. I think it's unfair that there are these people out there that sell endorsements. So what I really wanted to do was teach people how to be better business owners and develop their own leads, so they're not reliant on a locator. They're not reliant on some YouTuber to get them leads.
We want to give them the tools they need to be successful on their own.
Yes.
And then if they choose in the future to go work for someone, that's their choice.
Right.
Because owning a business is not for everyone. As we've seen firsthand, it is really challenging, and there's a lot of components that go into it.
Right.
But we want to arm them to have everything they need to try to be successful.
Correct. And so like the first part is, like, hey, we want to teach them to do marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, that's not just a locator. It's not just posting, something on Facebook.
There's a lot that goes
There's
into
a
it.
lot that goes into it. We have a part-time marketing employee who she's making this way better for what we're,
Yes.
And a lot of people came out and maybe they worked for the government or they're in the military their whole career, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you had like a task and you didn't have to deviate from it.
Right.
When you become a business owner, when you're an operation of 1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
you're the CEO, you're the CFO, you're the chief marketing officer. You got to wear all these hats. And so, the first component is, let's teach you to be a better marketer. The second thing we heard was that people genuinely didn't understand the sales
Right. They'd get calls
from the locator, or maybe
wherever, but
but-
then they wouldn't go anywhere.
right. And Elizabeth, what has been your experience? Because if you don't know, people don't really know what an RV inspection is. So the person who answers the phone has to kind of explain that, because the prices are higher than you might think.
Right.
So what's your experience been like selling that product?
That every customer has a different sort of level of knowledge coming in, and you have to quickly kind of assess where they're at. But something I've learned the hard way, and you helped me learn this, was that no matter where they're at, they still need the pitch. They still need you to hear. They still need to hear 6 to 8 hours. I'm not going to go through our whole pitch right here, but they still need to hear the whole thing so that they know the value of what we are offering. And then some customers require a deeper level of like, how is this different than a home inspection? Why does it cost so much? Why does it take 6 to 8 hours? Not everyone needs that part of it, but something I've learned was everyone needs the pitch. Even our social media ones, they see you on social media and they know maybe why they need it, but they don't understand exactly how thorough the process is and exactly what you look for, and that you have a whole spreadsheet basically of things that you're looking for and inspecting. They still need to hear it. So really, I guess the biggest thing is that no customer, no call that we get is just a shoe-in.
Right.
You have to work a certain level depending on where they're at.
Right.
But
They all
work goes into all of them.
every single one is different, and they might have different objections. And this is true of any, whether you're selling cars
Right.
or RV inspections or whatever it is. It's creating value and overcoming objections.
And I would say overcoming the objections is the hardest part,
And-
without a doubt.
And it's very different than selling like repair service, because people call us and it's pretty straightforward.
They need a repair. You have to convince them that they need an inspection.
Right. And so like when somebody calls you and they say, "Hey, my air conditioner's broken," it's like, "Oh, cool, we can come tomorrow.
Come
This
fix
is the
that
service
problem."
fee. He has some parts, he might have to order it." And everyone understands that process, because
Right.
everyone has taken their car in or they've had their house fixed. Everyone knows how to do it, but very few people really understand the RV inspection. And so like you, having no sales background, have like taken a deep, like you're reading books and
It's been
studying.
a lot of work and practicing, and
Right, and
we've talked about this in other podcasts. It's vulnerable. It's about letting my guard down and having to learn something new, and then better it, tweak it,
Right.
alter it, like whatever you want to call it.
And
It's-
pivot when
Yeah, it's
yeah.
hard. It's tricky. I still don't love it, but I feel more confident in it.
And what I see is from the inspectors that are out there, they're trying to apply the logic of selling an air conditioner repair to selling an inspection, and it doesn't work. And then one of two things happens very commonly to RV inspectors is a huge number of RV inspectors quit and give up. Huge number. A lot more will just roll into RV repairs, because honestly it's easier to open an RV repair business if you already have that skill. Because like we literally, people come banging on our door to fix we had to put our sign
True.
away because so many people were coming up to our door just like, "Hey, can you come?" And we don't have any
Like
time.
physically banging on our door in the middle of dinner.
Yeah, like we're eating dinner and they're
So
banging
if that
on the
was
door.
you, just know.
Whereas
Not thrilled with you.
inspection is we have quite a large marketing budget for inspections to
Right.
get where we are, and it's very different. The sales is very different when you're talking to this, and if you don't have any experience, like you could have the best marketing in the world, but if you don't know how to close the sale, you're not going to do
Yeah.
any inspections, or you're going to do much fewer. So we said, all right, well let's train that.
So that's the second part.
Exactly.
Sales.
And kind of the headlines are marketing and sales, but that's not it. So we want to teach better report writing. So something that comes up for us is when you do the inspection, it's just like, hey, don't speculate about what the thing is. Like, it's not water damage, the floor is torn,
No opinion.
right? Like, it probably is water damage, but you don't know that for sure. What you do know is that the floor is torn, right? Or it's discolored and it's spongy, right? And there are actually codes in the RV industry out of NFPA 1192, if you're interested, that actually govern some of the things in the RV. And it's true that they're more a guideline than a hard rule. But if you can cite those things in your inspection report, you'll do better. But if you don't know to do those things, then your reports are inferior, or worse, they're in violation of code of ethics. And so we said we want to do that. And then we also want to include some, we deal with a lot of explosive personality.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
In this, like when we go to dealer lots, like I got chewed out 2 or 3 times over the last couple of weeks.
Well, not you. Those occasions were on the dealer lot or from a dealer.
Right.
We also have to de-escalate sellers, private sellers. Once in a while, customers that just aren't happy with not necessarily us, but we're the person receiving
Right.
their
when
frustration.
When we find the air conditioners broken on inspection,
They're
and
not mad at us.
they're just mad.
They're mad, and we have to sort of de-escalate it. The frustrations come from a variety
Yes.
of people.
And so part of the training is like we're going to do law enforcement de-escalation, basically hostage negotiation, little mini version, just to work through some of the big feelings.
Yeah, big
that
feelings in the RV industry.
right. I mean, like literally. So the last two, like I got chewed out by general managers over things that I had photos of being broken,
Mm-hmm.
and they were arguing with me that they weren't broken. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, I mean, explain the photo then. Like but if you come at them with that attitude,
Yes.
it's gonna blow up in your face. So
There's a proper approach and way to handle it
I
that
was
can
I
help
was
you be
about
more.
to spill the beans about how to do it,
I'm
but
stopping you.
that's in the class.
Oh, yeah.
But
Thought you were gonna say who it was.
no, I wouldn't do that.
I might.
But so we want to do that, and that's kind of the first. And then there's going to be an inspection at the end where the RV is like knowingly bugged, like we know what's wrong with it, and then we're going to purposely inject some, like kind of you can't simulate everything, but like
Right.
we're going to find ways to simulate some specific things and have the students actually document it the correct way. And we're also going to interject we're going to have role players that interject on the dealer lot, and we want them to stop what they're doing on the inspection and de-escalate these big personalities. We want them in the class to make an actual real life sales call with one of our role players that will have a script and objections that they have to overcome, and they will stay on the phone for as long as it takes to get it right and overcome and make the sale. And so we thought, all right, well, sweet. So we'll have a bunch of inspectors that are really, really good at marketing, so everybody knows how to find them. They're really good at sales. They're awesome at report writing, and they're really great at dealing with people. But that felt incomplete to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I can't just unlatch these people into the world
Yeah. Be
and
free.
and not give them some kind of I can't weaponize their marketing and then not give them any kind of like real world experience, because if they're amazing at marketing themselves but they're bad at their jobs, it's going to blow up in our face.
Yeah.
So we said, well, let's do field training. Let's find a network, and we've identified 7 teams, and we haven't unveiled them to the world yet. 7 field trainers spread out across the United States that the students will be able to go and do a number of inspections with. We're still figuring out what that number is, but it'll be a few inspections that they can do together, and then part of the sort of tuition that they pay to us will be paid to those field trainers so that there's not some conflict later. But then they can actually learn from people in the field. And so now you've got these people they're better business owners, and they're better inspectors. And I think that will have a positive impact on the industry, because what I hear from dealers a lot is like, hey, this inspector came out and he's brand new and they made a mess. They didn't really know what they were doing. And I hear that over and over and over again. And once somebody gets established, there's 3 or 4 other inspectors in town that are well established. We don't ever hear anything negative about them.
Right.
We hear negative things about new people who are coming in, and it's not fair to the dealerships, the sellers, or the clients that's how they're supposed to learn. And so we said, all right, cool, field training. Let's do it. I think that's a solution for that problem. The field trainers are stoked.
That was my next question, is tell me about that meeting with them when you ran this by the
Yeah.
fellow inspectors.
So I ran this by a team of fellow inspectors, a very diverse group of inspectors. That was important to me. And in gender, they're very diverse. And that was important to me because I wanted, there's a greater number of female inspectors than there are technicians. And so it was important to me that I had a high number of female field trainers for this. And kind of my thing was like, hey, if you're a woman and you feel more comfortable learning from a woman, sweet, I want to make that there for you. But if you're a guy and you feel more and you don't want to work with a woman, then this is a great opportunity for you to learn how to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And go work with someone that can teach you something.
Maybe you wouldn't otherwise seek out. But
not that we don't have any men. We do.
yeah.
But
absolutely.
that was important to me. I wanted that. And so I brought the group, and we have a couple of master inspectors. Most of the field trainers are certified well, they're all certified inspectors. A couple of them are master inspectors. And when we pitch this to them, they are all people that see the same things that we do. They're all established businesses. They get it. And they're having the trouble with the new inspectors that are sort of poisoning the well. And this is a solution for that. And they're stoked. They're all
Yeah.
into it. I didn't even. I thought I was gonna have to like sell them. They
You
were
didn't.
they were
You left
all
that
in.
meeting so like lit up and
Yeah.
just fired up and
I
ready
was
to
like,
go.
and I pitched to all 7 of them, and I was like, oh, if I get 4 or 5, I'll feel really good. And then all of them immediately
Yeah,
sent me
which
an
is
email
pretty
back,
cool.
and they were like, hey, yeah, we're in. And so that's the next step. What we're doing right now is it has taken us way longer to get the back of the house stuff sorted out, the legal stuff and the payment. But I want that to be right before we start taking money. We do have the dates. It's in the first,
November,
yeah,
the
it's the
first
first
week
week
of
of November.
November. The first one will be near San Antonio.
Right, here in New Braunfels.
Hmm.
That's already on our website, nextgenerationrv.com. That's already on there. We're pushing out updates. We're also doing like a weekly kind of theme on our social medias
To
just to
just
help.
trickle in.
Yeah, um, and this for me, I'm really passionate about RV inspections. I really care about them. And when I look at our cousins of RV repairs, that industry is really well defined, right? Like every business is there's only 2 or 3 varieties of how to run that business, but they're all variations on a theme. RV inspections are largely undefined. Like they started as, in my view, it was kind of like, hey, it's going to be this side hustle and you can do it, and it's,
Right.
but it has become this, or it is becoming this like professionally regulated thing. And so I'm like, all right, well, I want to help define the industry, and thus Next Generation RV was born.
Yeah.
Some things that you may not even know. We are, like we said, we are not in competition with NRVTA or RVTI. That's not our interest.
No.
We are a business development program. I have had conversations with the leadership of. So okay, it's fun. The NRVTA is in Athens, Texas, and somebody asked me if I'd spoken to Athens. And I'm a history nerd, and I said I have not. I have spoken with the Athenians, and now when I talk about NRVTA, they're the Athenians, and we can be the Spartans. But so anyway,
But yes, you have.
I have spoken with the Athenians.
They're on board. They think it's great.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for every single person there. The conversation that we had was very positive. Um, but we've also spoken to the team at RV Help. They are generally supportive of it because I can't stress this enough that we are not a competitive.
No.
We are not a competitor to either of those things. We are something that is in addition to, and we want to make both of those products even better.
Yes.
So everybody, this to me seems like a win-win. We haven't really had anyone have a sort of cogent argument against what we're trying to do.
It's generally positive. I mean, we're out there trying to help everyone be the best they can be.
Right.
There's not really a negative side to that.
But we went through it though. Like we had like a live webinar for all the inspectors with like 60 people come.
Yeah, it's great.
And we talked about like our journey where, a couple months out of inspection school was real dark.
Yes.
It was real bad. You said, are we even doing inspections anymore? And that was so devastating to me. But your question was legitimate.
Right.
It's not like you were being mean-spirited.
It was.
Maybe you were.
I was not. It just they weren't really a thing. They were few and far between. So
And this was only a
you
couple
said,
years
"Oh,
ago.
I'm doing an inspection tomorrow," and I was like, "That's
I think
still
you
happening?"
I think you were mad because it was still a side hustle at that point. It was like I was going to give up a Saturday to go do this
Oh,
thing.
probably.
And
I
you were
don't
like-
remember, but probably that
you
sounds
were
about right.
You were like, why are you giving up a Saturday?
Because that's
for
how
this
it
thing?"
started. Was a side hustle.
Exactly. And so I really want. I want everyone. We're finally in our stride.
Yes.
Where we're doing as many inspections as we want. We kind of got into the stride last year, but now we're really where we want to be.
Right.
And I want everyone that wants this to have a path to do it before they burn out or
Yeah.
they switch to becoming RV technicians or whatever else. I mean, there's someone else in this park that tried it, didn't make it, and now they have like a full-time job.
Yeah.
But they do it as a side hustle. But like if you want to do it as a side hustle, sweet.
That's fine.
Like-
Do that. Yeah.
But like you have to put in the marketing time so that you can book as much as you want.
Right.
And then honestly, there are going to be some people that don't want to put the marketing in.
It's true.
And they don't want to do the sales and they don't want to pay for the insurance. I don't have an objection to that. We're planning to hire our first inspectors either late this year or early next year to work directly for Cozy Camper. And like there's no shame in that. That sounds like
No.
that sounds
Like
like
I said at the beginning, not everyone is cut out or wants to own a business.
right or
It's not for everybody.
It's not. But like I mean, I guess for me, if you're someone, the group we talked about earlier that is retired or they only need a supplemental income or a part-time job, well, sweet, come work for because we probably could, if left to our own devices, support 10 to 15 inspections a week.
Definitely.
Because we turn people away because of scheduling all the time. Our most common task is go to rvhelp.com.
It's hard because inspections are a time sensitive thing, and so once in a while we get some that they just want us in the future when it comes off the factory line. Others are like, I want to close Saturday,
Right.
so it has to be this week. Others are like, I need it next week, and it's like a juggling game to try and, or like a puzzle, trying to fit everyone in where they want and need to be, and sometimes it just doesn't work
And we
out.
end up losing it, and with
If
more,
they need it tomorrow and we're booked tomorrow, that
Right.
you lose it. There's no way to overcome that objection. They need it.
with part-time employees, we might be able to extend that bandwidth
Yes.
a little bit, though. And so like we're not the first to do that.
Right.
There's a team in Florida that does that right
Yeah.
now. And I'm comfortable with, like, hey, if somebody comes in and they want to work for us, like, hey, we're going to be in Austin for 6 months, like, sweet. I don't have an objection to any of that. I don't think it's dishonorable or anything. Like,
No,
we
not
can
at
still
all.
provide a great degree of freedom. Like, hey, you make your schedule. You tell me when you want to work.
For sure.
How many days do you want? You only want to do 2 days? That's fine. We can make that happen. And I think that's going to begin to happen more and more the same way
Yes.
that it did in the home inspection industry. Like, there's tons of solo practitioners out there, but there's a lot more people that work under someone else's umbrella, at least
Right.
while they're first getting
Yeah.
started. And I think all of this is a positive development for the inspection industry. I'm really stoked that we seem to have, like, the stars seem to be aligned right now with the timing, the people that we've brought in to do it, and our availability
Yeah.
to actually get it done. So
It's funny you should mention the timing, Mike. Why did you want to release this podcast, this announcement to our community on April 5th?
not April 5th, Elizabeth. April the 5th.
April the 5th. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mike, why did you want to release this podcast on April the 5th?
It's First Contact Day, Elizabeth.
And what happened on First Contact Day?
Everybody knows that on April the 5th, 2063, Zephyr Cochran met the Vulcans in Bozeman, Montana. So the name of our business is Next Generation RV Inspection, which is a homage to Star Trek: The Next Generation. The thumbnail for this is us in TNG uniforms. And before I go too much further, like, we do see it as the next generation
Yes,
of
it was
RV
very
inspections.
fitting,
We
but
thought about
also-
next level for a while, but
It's a nod to Star Trek.
it is we are Trekkies. But we're gonna film this podcast. I kind of looked at the schedule. Today's April 4th, so I have to edit this today, upload it tonight, post it tomorrow. But
That's what happens when you do 6 inspections.
yeah,
in a
exactly.
week.
This is our first opportunity, and, like, it's 5 o'clock right now, so I have to take you to dinner in a minute. But
That's true.
but so anyway, in the movie, it happens on April 5th. It's like the only relevant day in Star Trek, and I was like, oh, well,
Meant to
clearly
be.
we're gonna release this on April the 5th.
Yes.
And which is, if you've never seen First Contact, amazing movie. It's amazing. We're gonna watch it.
Tomorrow.
Elizabeth got me a Blu-ray player for my birthday,
Because this is 1999 or whatever
Yeah.
year those came out.
and yeah, it would have 96.
That would have been a Blu-ray?
No,
just a
but I
DVD?
have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You got me a Blu-ray player. I've been itching to try it, and I have all of the Star Trek movies on Blu-ray,
You sure do.
including the director's editions. Anyway, not to geek out.
Too late for that.
Geek out a little bit, but it is First Contact Day.
So,
And so we thought, well, we're calling it Next Generation.
It's meant to
It's
be.
April the 5th. We should get this thing released on April the 5th, if at all humanly possible. So we are.
making it happen.
If you want to follow our journey there, we have Facebook and Instagram pages. Next Generation RV. I think we're Next Gen RV. We have, like, a little Delta Shield triangle thing as our logo. You'll know it's us. And then our website is nextgenerationrv.com. We are still updating information. We are moving towards being able to take the bookings, but bookings will be limited. We are only doing 10 people, 10
Yes.
companies a class. I'm open to, like, the husband-wife team, the spouse team
Absolutely.
coming in, and they can be one ticket. I don't need to sell 2 seats, as long as it's understood they're one entity
Yes.
that's coming to the class. I'm not trying to nickel and dime, but nor do I believe that only solo practitioners can come. I don't believe that only married teams can. One of our
No.
competitors believes that only married couples can do inspections.
That is not true.
that is impossible to do if you're not a married couple. And I was like, well, I do 5 a week. So,
Yeah.
and I'm alone. It's just me
It's
and my
true.
thoughts.
I'm not going with you.
Yeah. We would fight the whole time.
Us?
We would totally fight the whole
fight.
time. But yeah, no. So we're and then also we are like totally an open book. We have our we as we're unveiling the staff for our program, they're going to be posted there.
Yes.
I'm not trying to hide anything. My phone number is on there. If some inspector has a question about what it is we're trying to do, I will take it.
Yes.
We're not. There's no secrecy.
Which is why we're making a podcast about it.
Right.
We want the world to know what we're doing, and
Exactly.
we're proud of it, and we want everyone to share this and talk about it, and
Right.
you
And
know, it's
yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, honestly, I want to do this like a few times, this class, and then that's it.
right.
Like I don't want to do it forever. I'm not trying to train every single inspector. I want to train the best to be even better,
Mhm.
and then we're out.
Yeah.
And then the industry can take it from there.
And do what they're gonna do.
Yes. Well, that's really all we had today.
That's it.
Some programming updates. So this is coming out the 5th. We have 2 great guests coming up next week. So we've got Steve from Mobile RV Tech Services. He will be our next podcast. I'm recording 2 on Monday. So we have Steve from Mobile RV Tech. He will be here then. And Dennis, the co-founder of RV Help, after that. And then we have, I'm going to reveal who the next one is, but that one's going to be fun.
It's gonna be a good one.
And then after that, I think we're going to take a break for a couple weeks because we're going to be traveling to Illinois to get our summer service area set up.
So it'll be a little while, but we'll be back after that.
Yes.
After we're settled.
So we'll take a mid-season break.
Probably be back in June.
Yeah, we'll be back at the end of May or June
Yeah.
after these next 3 podcasts, and then I think we'll take a break for a little while, and
Yeah.
then we'll be back.
So stay tuned.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got to take you to dinner.
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.